friends, welcome to today's meditation time. As you're beginning to physically settle in, I would invite you, even before you close your eyes, just kind of look around and just see what's going on in the room that you've chosen, that spot in the house, just wherever you are. Just get a sense of the movement, the activity. Even if things are really still and really quiet, just observe that. And just kind of take in your space and just notice this spot that you've chosen for yourself. Sometimes we land in different places from time to time, but it is nice when we show up for meditation that sometimes there's familiarity. And so just see what you feel in that spot that you've chosen for yourself. And then when you're ready, you can close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, just begin to settle in, just with a gentle breath in and a gentle breath out, and just find a little rhythm here. Almost like you're just moving with the sound of the waves coming in and the waves going out. Or the leaves blowing in the tree and then they become still. But just find a really nice rhythm of breath here that feels right for you. We have been on a journey for quite a while through these Yoga Sutras. This idea of taking these ancient texts and using them to really first sit with in meditation and just reflect upon and be with, and then to see how they can begin to inform and inspire and even manifest into our everyday busy lives. And so we've spent the last couple of months in this first chapter, which is all about the contemplation of just really sitting with, what is this practice? What does it show us? What does it reveal to us? What does it provide for us? What does it ask of us? And so we made it through all of these verses, just really with this idea of trying to understand a bit more about this practice that was given to us so long ago. This practice of sitting, of moving, of being, of thinking, of feeling, of truly embracing all aspects of ourselves. And so today, we begin to journey into the second chapter. In Sanskrit, we call that sadhanapada. And you can translate it a lot of ways. Oftentimes, it's translated as the practice chapter. But I love one of the translators who calls it the chapter on discipline. Not discipline in the sense of rules and regulations, but go to the root of discipline. Just think about that word discipline. It's got this idea of discipleship in there. And so we're kind of learning these things as this discipling of ourselves, of truly just learning, encouraging, exploring, being curious about. And when you approach discipline that way, it doesn't become this list of things you do and that you don't, or these consequences for acting or not, but rather it becomes inspirational. And so my hope is that as we journey through these lines, these affirmations of this chapter of the discipline of yoga, we will be inspired. And so just stay with that breath, slow and steady, stay with that grounded seat wherever you are. And we're going to start with Yoga Sutra 2.2. And what it says in the translation is, this practice will help us to minimize the obstacles and attain ultimate peace and bliss. I don't know about you, but I could stop right there. That's enough, right? Just that assurance. This practice can help to minimize the obstacles so that we can attain ultimate peace and bliss. And it's a statement, the way that he's written it. It's not a what if, it's not a wondering. It's listed in the affirmative. This practice will minimize the obstacles. And as those obstacles are minimized, we will begin to encounter these glimpses of this ultimate peace and bliss that we all desire so much. But we're in a journey into what these obstacles are over the coming days. And so for today, I'd like us just to think about our own obstacles. just pause for just the next few breaths and just think to yourself, what do I want? What do I want more than anything in my life? What is my deepest heart's desire? It could already be something that you're anticipating and that you're aspiring toward. It could be something sometimes that maybe you're even nervous or hesitant to even say out loud because it seems really far away. Or maybe you think that you don't have the skills or the courage to do whatever that thing is. But no one's listening. It is just you and your head and your heart. Ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want from this life? What do I want my life to be for the world? For my family? For me? For generations I've never even thought about yet. What do I want? See if you can see it. Even if you can't put it into words, see if you can see it. And I will tell you, when I ask that question of myself and I sit and I vision, I get this lump in my throat that sometimes feels like just pure anticipation and joy. And sometimes it feels a little bit like fear and uncertainty of wondering if I'm up to the task and do I have what is necessary. And so for me, my obstacle to that thing that I envision, that I want so very much in my heart for my life to be, my obstacle is me. My own self-doubt, my wondering about my capacity, about my courage, about my skills. And so I would ask you, that thing that you're seeing, that thing that you want so very much, what's in the way? What's in the way of it happening? It could be something as tangible as your job, your current responsibilities, some old karmic debt that you're still kind of paying here and now. But just ask yourself, what's in the way? It could be relationships with people who don't believe that that's possible, or they don't quite see you that way. Or you could be like me and your obstacles all sit with you. The obstacles of doubt and fear or unworthiness or guilt and regret for years that we feel like that we're supposed to make up for or pay penance for. But this Yoga Sutra does not say that this practice asks us to go back in time and begin to right all the wrongs. It says this practice will minimize the obstacles so that we can encounter ultimate peace and bliss. And I believe that this thing that we each see in our heart's desire, as we picture it, we may not be able to feel it yet, but there is a peace that undergirds it, that if our life could move in that direction and become that, or offer that to the world, whatever that thing is, we would feel peace that we can't even describe. We would feel bliss, this joyous way of being that almost has no words to capture it. But before we can get there, the first part of that sutra, that verse says, you got to understand what the obstacles are. Yes, this practice will minimize them, but what are they? And so again, we're going to journey through these obstacles in the coming days, but for right now, specific to this thing, this dream, this purpose that you see for your life? What's your obstacle? What's standing in the way of you believing that that thing is possible? Of you being able to let go of the things that don't quite align to it? And so as you begin to see or understand where your obstacles are, what I would invite us to do is sit with them. And I wish I could tell you that we will rise up from meditation today and they will be gone. They will be minimized. We'll be forward facing and ready to just be what we imagine ourselves being. But the truth is, we're going to have to sit with them for a little while. We're going to have to see them, understand why they exist, and then begin to detach from them. Some of our obstacles are conditioned ways of thinking. We've been thinking this for a long time. And again, while I wish that one meditation session would make them go away, there's probably some unlearning for each of us that needs to happen. And so first, for today, let's just see it. I'm going to invite my fear, my self-doubt to sit right here next to me on this spot. I want to see it. I want to own it. I want to understand where it's coming from. So whatever your thing is, your obstacle that's in the way of this heart's desire, let's sit with it. Almost like you've scooched over and you've invited someone to take that spot right next to you. It's the obstacle. You may feel uncomfortable over these next couple of minutes as it gets quiet. You may notice some restlessness in your body. You may notice that your breath changes, but try to come right back here to a slow breath in and a releasing breath out. Reground yourself and then see the obstacle again. And as we each continue to breathe in our space where we are, let's just notice what's come up for ourselves. Notice the emotions. Notice the thought patterns. Notice if there's any spots in your body that has tension. Or maybe notice the spots that are starting to feel a little more open, a little more free. Now, I always describe or think about these obstacles as these cinder blocks tied to my feet, or you feel like you can't move, or if you are moving, it takes an extreme amount of effort. But what I've discovered over the years with this practice is that no one put those cinder blocks on my feet. I put them there. And chances are, whatever that obstacle is that you see, even if it's connected to a job or a person or a situation, chances are you've made it the obstacle to fulfilling your heart's desire. And so again, we won't rise up in this next moment or so with everything gone and fixed and ready. But I would encourage us in the coming days to hold two things in our heart. Almost like your two hands are there right together. And in one hand, hold on to that heart's desire. See it. See it and nurture it. Imagine it happening. And then in the other hand, hold that obstacle. Keep it close. Understand where it came from. And through that understanding, I think you'll begin to see the way to remove its impact in your life. And I don't ask you to do this because I have done it and figured it out. I ask you to do it because I'm doing it right alongside you. My heart's desire in one side of the heart in my hand, and my fear, my self-doubt in the other. And I'm going to sit with those in the coming days, and I would ask that you sit with yours. And when you can get quiet in your day, just notice. Notice what's coming up for you. See what it has to teach you. What's it communicating? And so as we prepare to close out, I want to take us back to that question in the beginning. What is your heart's desire? What do you want? What would bring such peace and bliss and joy to every fiber of your being if this heart's desire could be manifested? What is it? So together, let's close out our practice taking a slow breath in. See that heart's desire. And then a slow breath out. Recognize the obstacle that's in the way of it. Let's hold them both together and see what they have to teach us. Namaste.